Life happens to each and every one of us, and it happens fast. One way to somehow keep up as it happens is to document it. Fortunately enough for all of us, we are now equipped with technology that can fit in our pockets that we carry every day, our smartphones. It is great and all, but sometimes the best and greatest are not what we want. We want to spice things up and we lean towards documenting life with different media, such as using cameras that once belonged in the past. And that's where the fun begins. In this video, I will be talking about the 3 different cameras that I use to better document my life, creative passions, and everything else that comes in between as life does its thing. These cameras are inspired by the late 90s to early 2000s, and I use these cameras merely because of my current influences, both from other creators, filmmakers, as well as analog film itself. Let's start with the first camera on this list, and that is the Digicam from the early 2000s. The rise in popularity and search and use of this camera started in 2022. In my humble opinion, there are 2 primary reasons why the Digicam made its return: fashion and the influence of shooting film. If you are not at all a fashion head, then let me tell you that the 90s and 2000s baggy aesthetic has come back and it's having its moment right now. And to fully resurrect a look from the said eras, it is a must to use a camera from the said generation that captures photos with the 90s and early 2000s aesthetics. And secondly, just like shooting film, the nostalgic look and feel is unbeatable. There's just something with photos taken with older cameras that is certainly no doubt timeless in terms of feel, vibe, and aesthetic. Personally, I resonate with these reasons as 1, I am into fashion, and 2nd, I am an avid fan of shooting film, and I'd like to be able to capture any moments that look like film. It just hits different. It just does. And for the most part, I use my Digicam because it resembles the look of disposable film and I like that look. I shoot with the Sony DSC T90 Digicam that I made a video on discussing in depth my settings on how to achieve the disposable film look. I also made 2 more videos on how I edit my Digicam photos to look like film. I will link them below. Also, you can get old Digicam from thrift stores and used markets like eBay. You may also want to ask your old folks, as I am pretty sure they used to have one just sitting somewhere in the basement. I am pretty sure you have seen a lot of creators on Instagram and TikTok make videos with the VHS aesthetics. And you guessed it, they used a VHS camera. I also used the same camera when shooting a lot of candid moments, both personally and for projects. I just think that shooting with this type of camera when recording raw moments is just rather unbeatable. Despite not having the sharpest lens and the unconventional 4:3 aspect ratio, it is just peculiarly great in documenting life. The VHS aesthetic and look triggers certain types of emotions and feelings that are rather not achieved by newer and better cameras nowadays. I think that's a bold claim, but that's what I personally think when I watch raw uncut footages shot from a VHS camera. And speaking of camera, my VHS camera is a Sony Handycam DCR TRV-280 that uses high 8 cassette tapes. I have had this camera since 2019, given to me by a good friend of mine. I am planning on making an in-depth review on this camera, discussing how to use it, how to obtain footage from it, and how I edit and color grade the footages in post. So stay tuned for that. My last and final weapon of choice to better document life is instant film. As I have mentioned earlier, I love shooting film, but sometimes shooting regular film takes a while before you can get back the images, but that's where instant film comes into the picture. It is still shot on film, but it does come out right away, which is definitely great. I had recently bought Binstax, a film back for the Mamiya RB67 to shoot instant film. To those who are not familiar, the Mamiya RB67 is a modular medium format film that shoots 120 film. To shoot an actual roll of film or instant film, all I have to do is switch the backs, which is why it is called a modular system. The Binstax film back uses Instax Square, which is made by Fujifilm, which is widely and conveniently available everywhere. You might be wondering, why opt in for such a big camera instead of using just a much smaller Instax film camera? That is logically true, but the reason why I use my Mamiya RB67 instead is because of the superb glass that it uses compared to the rather cheap glass an Instax camera is using. Not to mention, the depth of field taken from a 6x7 camera is wildly different from a regular Instax film camera or even a 35mm camera. So without being too technical, I am using a big, heavy, and cumbersome 6x7 film camera to shoot instant film photos for the quality of the images it produces. If you're new to shooting film and have not tried shooting a medium format camera, I recommend researching about it and trying one for yourself. It will definitely amaze you. I also have other videos on the channel shooting with the Mamiya RB67 as well as other medium format cameras for you to check out. Also, I will be making an in-depth video review on the Binstax film back in the future, so stay tuned. And there you guys have it for the 3 cameras that I use to better document life. I say better because these cameras add some flavor to my documentation, which adds more fun and excitement in my journey. Sure, I do not need all of these cameras as I can just use my phone or any new cameras available in the market. But where's the fun in that? Life is all about trying out and learning new things, even though the things that you are trying to learn are technically not new. And using other cameras to document life simply pushes you to become extra creative, which is definitely a big win. So do you own or have you shot any of these cameras in the past? Let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to ask me any questions that you might have and I will be more than happy to help you. And if you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to help the channel and a brother out. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. And until next time, stay safe, keep documenting. Peace.